crack it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wealthapreneur podcast. This is episode 8, and I'm your host, Ashish Zakal.
And I'm your host, Sogat Pradhan. And today, in this episode, what we're going to be talking about is a journey of an entrepreneur and what entrepreneurship looks like and what owning a business looks like. So, again, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. This is episode 8, and stay tuned for more episodes in the future. We were going to be bringing in guests today, but they couldn't make it, which is all right. So next week we'll have a guest coming in for our podcast. So let's go and begin with this episode. Let's go, Assis.
Yeah, so like Sogat said, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, right? Or entrepreneur's journey. And obviously, Sogat, like you said, we had a guest coming in today, but it couldn't happen. But be excited for next week. But I want to ask you a question. Obviously, entrepreneurship journey is a long journey, right? From beginning to the end, and it's something that we all have to put in the effort and the time to build a business or take the business to the next level, right? So you have started some couple business, and I've started some businesses as well, and the road is not the same. I will definitely say that. So do you want to talk about your journey, and after you talk about your journey in the entrepreneurship industry, right, or being an entrepreneur at an early age, I'll talk about mine as well. So do you want to start?
Yeah, of course.
Off?
Yeah, like Assis said, there's a lot of things that you can do as an entrepreneur. You don't definitely have to focus on one type of business. There's many other type of business that you can do in this field.
Yeah.
So for me, as an entrepreneur, I think I started off with very small. I started off reselling things, right? So I never wanted to get a job. Well, I had to, but I never wanted to work a minimum paying job, right? Minimum wage paying job. But what I did was I started off doing reselling. So what I would do is I would go to stores like Burlington, TJ Maxx, and many other thrift stores to get items for a cheap amount of money, and then flip it online to make a little bit of profit. And then I would use that profit to buy more things and build up from there. So that's how I started my entrepreneurship journey. Basically, and then I got into reselling sneakers. I have talked about this a lot on my YouTube channel too, and on my social media. I started off doing sneaker reselling. Did this for a couple of years. It was pretty tough at the beginning because there wasn't much people that wanted to help me out. There were a couple of sneaker resellers here in my city. I tried to reach out to them, but they wouldn't want to give me any information. They wouldn't want to help me out. So I had to do everything on my own and research everything. Then I found so much information about how to make money with selling sneakers, right? So, and then I just started doing it all by myself. Build a Instagram page, build an eBay account to sell sneakers on, and that's how I basically started my entrepreneurship journey. And now I am doing real estate. So I'm not really focused on reselling sneakers or anything like that. So, but that really helped me out to build up my capital and just build up my experience with becoming an entrepreneur, and I've been able to use that experience in the real estate field that I'm in right now. So I see, like I said, entrepreneurship doesn't have to be specifically one thing. You can do many things in entrepreneur field. Like you never did sneaker reselling, right? You never did reselling anything like that. But see, we're different. We're different business people, but we have the same kind of mind. I think entrepreneurship, there's a lot of hardship there and a lot of difficulties along the way. But if you can push through that, if you can overcome that hurdles and keep doing what you're doing, I think it's definitely going to help out in the long journey and help out with your future and to get to your end goal, right?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say that. Yes, I think. At first, because as an entrepreneur, it's not a stable income unless you build a stable business. I want you to take this really carefully in your ears, listeners or viewers. Entrepreneurship is a journey where you're not going to have paychecks every single month, because it depends on how good your business does, right? So for right now, let me give you a really great example. So I was bird dogging for realtors, and pretty much investors in my early age, which was I was like 15 years old. I was passing out flyers, and if I got someone interested, I would get paid, but I was also getting paid. But I was an employee of that business, but I wasn't really an entrepreneur. I guess I was hustling and really getting the money that I want in that time of period. But if I hadn't do that, or if I hadn't got someone interested, I wouldn't get paid, right? And
Right.
so at least I had some kind of compensation there, where there was a safety net where, okay, if I pass flyers, I will definitely get paid. If I don't, then I won't get paid. But if I don't also get someone interested, then I won't get paid at all. So that's where I was at, right? So entrepreneurship, and that's just one thing that I did. Another thing that I did actually was I started working with fix and flips
Yeah.
houses.
Right.
And that was another thing that I did. So and one thing that I want to say is that a job is never too small, if it's big or small, right? But what I do want to say is, as you elevate to the next level, I wanna talk about this. What I want to talk about is that there's different levels to that, and you're gonna have to invest different times and effort into your occupation as an entrepreneur. Like, you have to also think like what you can prioritize the most, or what you're willing to prioritize the most, because time is the most valuable currency after money. That's what I believe. And if you don't put that time into the right resources to grow your business, then you're gonna have to work extra hard versus just working hard but getting the job done. You know what I'm saying, Salgat? So as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of things that me and Sogat did, e-commerce. Now we're into real estate, and we do not want to focus on building too many bridges at once. We want to, like Sogat is saying, like, well, I'm only doing I'm only doing real estate agents right now, and focusing in real estate, versus doing multiple things and investing my time into multiple things,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
we don't want to do that. Like, I personally, I'm at this level where, like, I want to give my whole time to real estate. But in real estate, if I focus on two different things, or three different things, if I can get paid every single month, I think that'll be the biggest thing, because guess what? I'm only focusing in real estate. So a lot of young youth out there, I mean, I'm not someone who is like, like 20 or 25 years old. I'm not there, but I'm 19 years old. You know, what I'm saying is, don't focus on too many bridges, because a lot of young teenagers, Soga, what they do is that they focus on starting multiple businesses, and they expect them to grow really fast, which is impossible, which really is impossible, right? What I mean by that is that they try to build this one business, and then it doesn't go through, and then they get
Yeah.
frustrated, and they're like, oh, what, entrepreneurship is really hard, or being an entrepreneur is really hard. But guess what, guys? You decided to really, focus on that multiple aspect of the business, and you gave up. So one thing
Yeah.
that you want to do is that you want to focus on 1 to 2 business, but stick with it till the end, with a thick and thin. But you want to, like, pretty much capitalize or minimize the risk that you're willing to take, you know, when you're starting it. And if you start too many businesses, guess what happens? You have so much risk. But remember what I just said, you want to minimize or maximize the risk that you want to take on starting a business. So you're starting so many businesses at once, you're having too many risks, which that makes you want to give up, right?
Right. Definitely.
So what I've realized with my journey in entrepreneurship is to stick with 2 or 3 business model and take risk. Without taking risk, without investing money, nothing is impossible. And you have to invest your time and effort to that business. And so that's what I want to say.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really great that you said that don't build too many bridges, because they can collapse if you don't put in
Exactly.
time and
Exactly.
effort into each one of them, right? But what you can do is you can start off by doing something, and then you know, get really good at it, and then move on to another thing, but automate that thing to have it
Definitely.
in the back, right? In the back, so that I can generate you income. So for me, example, I was when I got my license as a real estate agent, I was also drop shipping on online.
Mhm.
I had an e-commerce store, and I actually had that automated as soon as I got my license, so that I didn't have to put too much time into it. But everything, but things like regulation and things came in, so that's why it took my store shut down.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I had it automated, and I wasn't putting too much time into it, so that
Mhm.
I could focus more on selling houses at this point,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
now what I can do now is I can once I get good at this as becoming a real estate agent, I can move on to another thing,
Yeah.
get better at that, and then automate my real estate business, have it in my back, that can
Mhm.
generate me, passive income, or an income
Yeah.
that doesn't really take too much work as
Mhm.
it's taking me right now. So
Mhm.
I think that that's really good that you said that. Don't build too many bridges,
Mhm.
because that if you don't put too much time into all the bridges that you have, it can definitely fall, and you will not succeed in life.
Definitely,
As an
definitely.
entrepreneur, it's very different from becoming a an employee, because there's no one to tell
Yeah.
you what to do. Everything that that comes up your comes along the way, that you have to do it by yourself. There's no one to tell you, hey, do this, do that, or guide you towards your goal, because it's your goal, right? You're trying to achieve that goal, and
Definitely,
another person is not going to be there providing you a hand, right? So they're
definitely.
not. So like for example, if you're working at, let's just say, at a grocery store, there's going to be managers, there's going to be supervisors that's going to be guiding you, that's going to be telling you what to do, and you don't have to work too hard to achieve the thing that the managers and supervisors want you to do at the grocery store. But as an entrepreneur, this is your own business. You're the supervisor, you're the manager,
Mhm.
so there's
That's
no one
correct.
else to tell you what to do. So you know you have to get better at it. You have to you have to be able to achieve things in that certain field before you go into the next field, right, Assis?
Correct, correct. That's correct. Yes. And one thing that I also want to say is that about the time thing. So I got as you develop your journey of starting businesses, some business that you start, you might think, oh, you know what, I'm gonna build this and I'm gonna have it automated. Like, I want to tell the viewers out there that it's not worth it. It's really not, because as you get to the next level, as you get to the next level of the business of the journey that you start, like some of the things that you do, it's not really worth it,
Right, right.
and here's why I'm going to tell you it's not worth it. Because let's say you do e-commerce, right? If you want to focus on e-commerce till the end and make a multiple figure dollar business, then it's worth it. But if you're focusing on multiple businesses and saying, hey, I'm going to focus on this compartment where I will, automate this, but I'll focus on the next thing, it's not going to work. The time that's surrounding, all the factors, it, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to flow through everything. I mean, if you can do it and if you want to sleep less, go ahead. If
Yeah,
you're willing to struggle and if you're willing to take risk, go ahead. There's
I
nothing
think
wrong with that.
that's the reason why many people quit what they're doing, because they can't handle everything that comes their way. They
Definitely.
have too much things
Definitely.
to do, right? Too much things to do, so they can't put in enough time. They can't handle all the objections or anything that comes up. So I think that's why many people quit their business or things like that. But if you have one thing to focus on, one thing to put more time into it, if you can
Yeah.
build that up, that's definitely going to help you out, and you're going to be able to succeed in your business, in your life as an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah. I think so too. I like what Slogan said. I mean, you know, entrepreneurship is about a journey where it takes courage and dedication and really work ethic to make it to the top.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to put that work etiquette in there with your uh, aspirations that you have for yourself of achieving success and having a good house, having all the necessities that you're wanting to want, um, at first it takes a lot of work. It really
Yeah.
takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to put a lot of work in it, then it simply becomes a pie on the hole. And no matter how many effort you put into it, but if you just do it for a short period of time of 1 month, then you're not going to succeed. If I start something, and a lot of if I start something as a business, and if I expect to explode in one month, which it may can, but I'll definitely tell you something though, you're not going to make $1 million in a month.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And if you want to make money, you have to put more money into making more money. So that definitely takes a big toll and a big factor when it comes to entrepreneurship journey of someone who's currently in it, like we are. And it's a hard lifestyle that you have to live, and you have to balance everything around, your family, once you get married, if you have kids, you have to balance everything around. And so, if you're young, take that opportunity right now, right? If you work your ass off right now, yes, I know I said your ass off, but if you work your ass off right now, guys, our viewers, anything is possible, right? It doesn't matter. The age is just a key factor plus point for you to succeed right now, so that in
Yeah.
the coming endeavors, you can live the lifestyle that you want, right? let me ask you a question. Do you want to, struggle right now? And let's say you want to make $60,000 a month in the future endeavors, which is like almost $700,000 a year,
Yeah.
in the next 6 years. And once you're making $700,000 a year, which is $60 to $55,000 a month, and do you want to grow that by another 50 in the next 5 years, or a million by the next 5 years? Because guys, listen, your first $10,000 a month is harder. Your
Mhm.
second $20,000 month is harder, but have to have the right steps, and you have to have the right the frame to make it happen.
Right.
So every single month, so God, you gotta be able to bring that income. But in order to bring that income, you have to have the structure behind, or else it's not gonna happen, right? And so once you build that structure and you start making $10,000 a month every single month, boom, you just expand that to another 10,000, which becomes 20,000. Boom, you do another 10,000, 30,000. Just have a structure behind, and set your goals of what you want to make. Don't focus on no one. Don't focus on no one, guys. Because if you focus on another person and say, oh, look, he's making $1 million a month, you're going to get discouraged. Have a goal. For example, let's say, in the next 1 year, in the next 12 months, starting next month, I want to make $10,000. And in
Yeah.
the next 12 months, I want my net worth to be $300,000. So the competition is not outside, the competition is within yourself. Realize that. A lot of people may mistake themselves of saying, you know what, my competition is outside. No, 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 no. The competition is in you. Competition is in
Yeah.
you.
Right.
So definitely, definitely, definitely have a competition with yourself, not someone else, right? My goal, Sagat knows what I want to make, in the next uh year or so. I'm not gonna say it, but the competition is not with Sagat, it's within me. The competition is not with outsider, it's with me. Right, Sagat?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. You have to
You want
come
to
for
talk about
yourself,
that?
right? You're your own competition, and no one else is there to like. This is not a race, right? It's a
It's
marathon,
not. It's not.
and it takes time. It takes a lot of grit, a lot of hard work. So if you're not willing to put in the time, the effort, and the hard work, then maybe get a job and don't become an entrepreneur, right, Assis?
Definitely, definitely.
And a lot of people that that's always in social media finds a lot of, like, let's just say TikTok, right? There's a lot of TikTok videos about entrepreneur and people make showing off money, cars, and they look very cool and they look rich, right? And then another person might look at it and be like, hey, I want to be just like that, like, can I
Yeah,
do it tomorrow? Like they think that can happen overnight, which is not possible unless you win a lottery for $1 million. But it's very rare. um, so it does take time and a lot of effort to get to your goal, and just to become an entrepreneur. It's a very very big journey. And I
mhm,
think that putting in work and being patient
mhm.
is definitely a main factor here as an
Definitely,
entrepreneur, or as
definitely.
a business owner.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people tend to not see the result right away, and then they quit. They
Definitely,
just quit and go into the next thing.
definitely.
Um, for example, if you are a real estate agent, I have heard that it takes about a year to sell your first house, right?
Wow.
And that's just what a study shows. But a lot of people quit in between that because they can't sell any houses. They're not patient with their business, right? So, for example, it took me 5 months to close my first deal, but I was still working hard. I never gave up. I just kept putting in work. I just kept working hard, gave some time, and I never really thought about quitting because I knew that I was going to close at least one deal in that month. So I think that entrepreneurship is a journey for the long term. It's not a short.
Mhm.
And definitely becoming patient and having the grit to move forward is going to be very helpful in your
Definitely.
career.
Yes, I do believe so. And like I said, we're coming to an end. So I just want our viewers to like realize that, being an entrepreneur is a marathon, and having to build a business as an entrepreneur is a marathon. And there's so much courage that you have to put into yourself, to the point where you're not just motivated for the money, but you're motivated to help the individuals that, your business is gonna make. So, don't look at money and say, well, entrepreneurship is the way, but I know I'm not gonna get money, but I just want to make this much money. Yes, we all want to do. I even tell Saul, what, I want to make this much money, but at the end of the day, you're also solving problems. So the bigger the problem you solve, and the more value you can provide. Let's talk about that. So, God, the
Yeah.
more value you can provide as an entrepreneur in the business, right? As a real estate agent, what you're doing, you're helping someone to transfer the deed of their home, you know, to another person, right? And you're the middleman of helping them sell or buy the house, correct? So
Exactly.
what you're doing there, you're providing value. So valueship is a key factor when it comes to business and in life in general. And if you can provide the most value as possible to someone that you admire or someone at your profession, then the bigger the milestone that you're gonna hit, right? Or you're gonna have. And when I say the bigger the milestone you're gonna hit, is that the milestone that you set, you're gonna hit that target exactly if you put in the value, if you put the word value in it. So that's what I meant. But so I think that's the key factor in life is to really have a discipline, but also provide value to people so that with your profession and really you start doing things that nobody's doing, and be unique in your profession so that you have no competition, but the competition is you.
Yeah, and I really like that you said, providing value can definitely help you with their business, because I think the more people you help, the more money you will make as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about building wealth and
Mhm.
at real estate and things like that a couple of days ago. He mentioned someone was interviewing a couple of wealthy people in the U.S., and all of them has said that all I did was help people and they helped me
Definitely.
make money, right?
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
providing value and solving problems is a big factor when it comes to entrepreneurship. We shouldn't really be focused more on the money, because that will come after you provide value, after you solve the
Definitely.
problems.
Definitely.
But if you just want to make money, then you can get a job, um, you know,
Mhm.
where you have to work 8 9 hours a day, which I don't think any one of our listeners
Yeah.
wants to do. But as an entrepreneur, look at the problems and try to solve their problems and provide values to them,
Mhm.
and that's definitely going to help you make more money along the way.
Definitely.
For example, as a real estate agent,
Mhm.
imagine if if you help a home buyer buy their first home and make them feel really excited about it. They're gonna really love you for all the service that you provided, all the values that you have provided to help them find that amazing home, and
Mhm.
they're gonna keep you in their mind forever, and they're gonna refer you to more home buyers or more home sellers. That's definitely gonna help you make more money in the future, right?
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and I really
Definitely.
like you brought that up, because
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur, you have to solve their problems, right?
Definitely, definitely, and we talked about. I think you were going to a listing agent, I think, or maybe like seller's agent, and we talked about how you should give them something in advance so that you really care about them. Whether it's
Yeah.
taking flowers, whether it's if you're a real estate agent, there's so many ways to provide value to the listing agent or buying. Sorry, not the listing agent. Sorry, listing like the seller or the buyer. That's what I
Yeah.
meant. Sorry, not to act dumb or anything. I just kind of got confused. But yeah, uh, but yeah, what I was saying was, so let's say if you're going to even a buyer, right? Even a buyer, you go and you say, hey, Mrs. Seller, buyer, this is a flower for you. I just thought I would bring this to you, and I'm really excited to work with you, and it's all about word of mouth too, So the words that you put into your mouth and then you reflect, and the thing that you present to the buyer, it's
Yeah.
going to make them feel something. And I'm going to do that, because I feel like that's a key factor, because I want them to think that I really care about them, and I really do, and whatever they say, I'm going to do, because as a real estate agent, um you got to follow your sellers ideas, and then what they really want, right? So but with the sellers too, after you help them sell their property, you can do the same thing as well. And guess what that is doing? That is also giving them a sense of where, like, oh, you know what, Sagat or Ashish, if we both do it, like these agents really care about me. They really thought deep, and then I really like them. That's gonna give them that message in their head. And what's that doing? That's providing value. And and another step that you provide a real value is obviously the money comes to that, and it's a big part. But um, when you help them sell their house, that is another big value. So I just wanted to talk about that, Sogat. But that's all I have for now. And if you have something, definitely go ahead and yeah.
Yeah, I think we have covered the most important things about becoming an entrepreneur. Like we said earlier, entrepreneurship is a journey to solve problems and not just make money. Money will come along the way as you solve problems and as you help people. And I feel like all those things that you see in social media, all those flashy stuff, money, cars, and things like that. That's not going to be happening overnight. All those people that are showing off their cars, money, they probably had worked their ass off for a long time to get to where they're at, unless it's their dad's money that they're used to buy those stuff. So don't just believe everything that you see in social media, because it's not 100% true, and money will not come overnight. It takes time, it takes grit, and you just got to be patient as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, and do not ever give up on your dream. Have goals set for what you want to do in life, and I think it's gonna really help you out to, look at those goals, like have it right in front of you when you're working, maybe in your computer or a whiteboard right in front of you, so that you can see every single day when you wake up. Whenever you're working, you can always see your goals, dreams right in front of you, and then whenever you feel unmotivated, you can just look at it and be like, hey, I really want to get there, but so I gotta work for this. So then you can start getting motivated again to work towards that goal. So that's all I got. I don't have anything else to add to this. What about you, Assis?
That's it. That's all I have for now. But I hope you guys find value, and just I keep loving the podcast. Like I said, we were gonna bring the guest today, and he came on Zoom and said, I can't do it. My Wi-Fi is not working really well, and I wish we could show a proof, but we can't.
That's all
But
right.
just wait for the surprise, I guess. But yeah, the next episode will be great. Like I said, we'll keep bringing in guests. It's just that unfortunately we couldn't this week because of he came on Zoom and said, I really wish I could do this from my computer and then whatnot. So we want to give you guys quality, and then also really get great information about different professions that you can pursue. So I hope you guys don't mind, and he will definitely come in next week.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to our podcast again. I hope that we provided some value, and if you guys would be honored to do some feedback for us, give some feedback for us in our podcast to help us make this podcast better, and just help us give some ideas to us, that would be really helpful too. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for another episode. We'll see you next time then.